Hey everybody, welcome to Love and Relo, the voice of the relocation industry. I am your host, Ben Cross, and I'm so blessed and honored to be here with my good friend, co-worker, and day one, Jana Chezanoski over here, our director of consulting. What's up, Jana? How you doing?
I'm doing great.
It's so good to have you here at GLOMO HQ, live from the Big D. We're here. It's Halloween. You might notice Jana's not always a ninja, but today she is. So watch out. She's sneaky.
I'm right here.
Jana, let's talk
Playing.
about Halloween for a second here.
Yes.
You always seem to love Halloween.
Honestly, yes. For those who don't know, I lived in US back in the days until from 2003 until 2009. And when I moved back to Brazil, one of the things that I will miss more was like during Halloween season, not to mention that after Halloween, there's Thanksgiving. So this whole season that
Like fall.
obviously
Yeah.
we don't have it in Brazil. We
Yeah.
do, there are parties, but it's not celebrated as here. It's different. So yeah, I really love the idea. Like I don't know when was the moment that just kids can be out with costumes. I love
Yeah.
Halloween.
Yeah. Get in the comments here. I want to know who you are, where you are, check in with us. And I want to know, what are you doing for Halloween? Are you dressed up? Do you have a costume? I want to know what costume you're rocking. If you're not rocking a costume, maybe your family is or something, let me know. What are you doing for Halloween? Are you giving out candy? Are you getting candy? You know, where are you on the candy give take spectrum? I want to know. Get in there. What are you doing for Halloween, Jana? You're always this international woman of mystery. You're always out and about doing amazing things. I always say I like to live vicariously. People say I do a lot. No, Jana does the most. I always like living vicariously through your amazing, incredible, interesting life. So what are you doing tonight for Halloween?
When I figured out that I was gonna be here during Halloween, I was just really excited. Like, well, okay, I'm all about making the best of every experience. And okay,
Yes.
Halloween, awesome day to be in town. And then I was just, okay, we need to do a party. We need to be somewhere. For sure, I will have a costume. Fact. So,
Facts.
facts. But tonight we are me and my friends, Jillian, Chris, we are gonna go to Fort Worth. What it's
Yes.
like already an event.
Yes.
And will be my first time there during Halloween.
Yes.
Chris' first time in there, so it's like a lot of first experience. That would be amazing. So dinner, and we will have some fun.
Tricks and
Drinks,
treats,
yeah,
drinks,
sweets,
sweets, all the
sweets.
things. Oh my gosh. Yeah, let me know what y'all are up to and out there. You know, it sounds fun. I want to be out there with you. I will be trick or treating at home, dressed as a GLOMO delivery driver, and I will be taking my children around in their Hufflepuff Harry Potter costumes.
I'm proud of you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And then maybe giving out a little candy towards the end of the night. Maybe, stealing some Sour Patch Kids for my children.
You can bring the candies tomorrow. It will be super helpful. I'm positive.
So I just jack all my kids' candy. That would be like total Grinch mode. Hit that like button. Get in there. We got people checking in here. Adrian saying, hey, Jana, glad to spend the week with you.
Yes.
It's awesome. It's always awesome having you in the office.
A lot of love, and I love it. The whole love that I receive from everyone in the team. They're
Yeah.
just so welcoming.
Sandra saying, Jana, it's going to be a good day. I don't know which song is that from?
Gonna
Sandra?
be a good day, a good night, everything, isn't it?
Oh, is that the
That's what
Black
that's
Eyed
what,
Peas song?
That's what it came to my mind.
Sandra? I need receipts, Sandra. Janet saying hello, Jana. Good to see you.
Oh, I miss Janet.
What's up, Janet? Daisy, Jana, rocking the ninja hearts. Look at this. Jillian's
The most
excited to spend time and
energetic person.
excited to hear from you. Get in the comments too with questions. If you've got questions for Jana, Jana's one of the most interesting. Some people have called her iconic. You've been called iconic before.
I don't know about that.
I think you are the voice of Brazil in our industry.
Ooh. Oh, I'm honored, but there are a lot of
There's a lot
other
of
people
voices.
that I look at, and I have a lot of people to admire, and yeah. But I'm really honored to represent my country, my region, and But surely there are other great names to be seen as
Yeah.
top. Iconic.
Yeah, well, I mean, when WERC goes to Brazil, they call Jana and they say, hey, take us around, kind of be that ambassador for us. Speaking of which, how was, and we're going to talk about WERC last week because we got a lot of reactions from that we're going to share with y'all. If you were there, if you weren't there, I'd love to know if you were there at WERC last week. What was your thoughts, overall impressions of the conference? Put it in. If you have maybe something that stood out to you that was different, unique, put it in the comments. I want to know from y'all. But I'm gonna ask you, Jana, first before we talk about WERC last week in DC. Tell me about the one in Brazil earlier this year.
Oh wow, was really special. Was the second one that I supported the organization, and was really awesome. We had the representation of so many countries from Latin America. What
Wow.
it's all about it's happening in Brazil, but it's a LATAM summit. So I was really proud to see so many countries represented. The engagement, I really felt that was really, the content was really rich, was valuable for the people that are starting in the industry, was valuable for the people that are more seasoned, and I think that is challenging, right?
That is hard, yeah.
You want people that are arriving to feel welcome, not lost, but
Yeah.
at the same time you want to deliver value for the ones that have been in the industry for a long time. And I think we did a great job on it. Like, we started the day with this economist, like, giving an overview for the whole LATAM. And that, of course, for us in the global mobility, we are more people than numbers. But that initial panel drove all the conversations during the day, and I thought that was really smart, really awesome, really drove us to this strategic place that we all were looking for.
Yeah,
in the global
yeah, I love
mobility.
that you brought that up because when we think about designing, any kind of show, whether it be a conference or just be a live stream or a webinar or whatever, you always think about your audience. And you're like, okay, who is the audience? What kind of level are they at? Where's their baseline of understanding? Because you want to meet people kind of where they are and then stretch them a little bit forward. And it's always a challenge when you have senior people in the room and you go with something that's too, maybe elementary or kind of baseline or vice versa, right? So that's always a challenge. So it's great to have stuff that's of a different level. I want to talk about WERC last week in National Harbor, Maryland. But before we do that, we have a slight announcement.
We do?
We're breaking news right now.
Oh my God. Really? I'm
Yes,
nervous
really,
coming
yeah,
from you.
yeah.
I'm always like, what?
No, this is a big deal.
Whew,
This
okay.
is life or death.
Okay, Ninja.
Ninja time, ninja mode. No, shout out to Janet Turner, who just says she's not dressed up, but she just found out she's expecting grandbaby number 2.
Oh, congratulations.
Yes.
That is amazing breaking
Amazing.
news. Congratulations.
So congrats, Janet. We love Janet, our
We
first
do.
producer here on the show. Yeah, so great, Janet. I'm so happy for you, and blessings. And now Penny's gonna have a little brother or sister out there. So shout out to your son and your daughter-in-law. So happy for you, and everybody, of course, gets in there. So give Janet some virtual round of applause there. She's sending the love out here. Sandra's putting links in here. Mel Smith checking in, says hi, Jana.
Hey, Mel.
And Ben, we love Mel. What's up, Mel? Jorge.
The
go
North
ahead.
American with best Brazilian musical taste that I know.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. He
Wow.
has an amazing taste for Brazilian music.
Wow. Well, Mel is like the most cultured person I know,
He's
probably.
incredible.
He's incredible, yeah. And Jorge Flores is saying, hey, everybody, Jana and Ben, it was very great meeting you in person last week.
Yay.
That's awesome. Sharon checking in here, just saying congrats, Janet Turner. Good to see you, Sharon. So good to see you last week. Last week, WERC. What were your impressions? First thoughts.
Ooh, first thoughts, honestly, for me was for so many reasons, I still digesting because it was important and in so many different aspects. Of course, ERC, I always say that it feels like a wedding.
Right? Like a wedding,
Because
like a
it's
2,000 person wedding?
You somehow know everybody, and if you don't know, you know someone that knows. If you're not that side of the family, you are just getting into. So I love it, the whole environment, that warm vibe that goes around, always people to meet and always reconnecting with fabulous people. For me, it was really special. I'm being really involved with WERC, and made me look back on my first ERC back in 18. Actually, my first ERC was a summit in São Paulo back in 14 or 15.
Oh, wow.
I'm not sure. Yeah.
Okay.
And was when I realized, I'm like, oh my God, there's a community of, because I was the corporate alone that like nobody would understand my challenge.
Yeah, the one person that did what you do.
And then I figured out, okay, there's this whole community. And then I realized there was ERC, and from day one, I'm like, I want to get involved.
Yeah.
And there's the whole process of reaching, like, of growing, learning, and for me it was really special to be involved in so many amazing initiatives, awards, the emerging leaders group, participating, supporting others for being in different panels was really special, and be at the Ignite. So it's just all over the place. I love it.
You touched on so many things. I want to unpack a lot of these. Get in the comments. I want to know, what did you think of the WERC conference last week in National Harbor? It just ended. I think we're all still kind of riding the high, the emotional high, the physical exhaustion. Talking to my team, we're like super keyed up, but we're also like, oh my God, I'm dead. So get in the comments. I want to know what your thoughts were.
And then at the same time, it's like we are all those things, and it's that feeling like at the end of the day, oh, I don't have a happy hour. I'm not meeting.
I'm not supposed to go drinking with my best friends right now.
I'm still having it because I'm here at the office, but I'm sure next week I'll be like, oh, okay, so no happy hour, no dinner with my colleagues.
Yeah. Yeah, so there's like that letdown, like I miss it so much, right?
But I want to add something about ERC, and I'm been loving this. It really connects with me, the whole people for people. And I think they're doing such a great job. I really felt that people are really like seeing a lot of people involved, a lot of people speaking in different panels, the engagement, one supporting another. It really felt that we are people for people.
You know, that's such a good slogan to put on it too, because it's been that way for a while, but by naming it that and by kind of codifying it that way, and now we can kind of walk in that vision, and it kind of gives a name to what we've kind of been doing already, you know. And I love it, and I saw it in so many different ways. I saw it in the way that, you know, we showed up for each other's, you know, panel sessions and whatnot. I remember when Michelle Brescia was leading our session, and I was like, who's here for Alice? Who's here for Holly? Who's here for Michelle? And then all these people like held up a sign with her face on it. I was like, chills, you know?
I love it. I thought that was like so, I just love it. The whole pictures, and that was super adorable.
Supporting one another, fabulous. People in the comments are going wild right now.
Ooh, we like
Hit that like button. Let us know, what did you think of the WERC conference last week? Sharon says, the best I have ever attended in 20 years.
Oh wow, score WERC.
Yeah, that's big.
Yeah,
you've been going longer than I have, Sharon. That's fantastic. Tamara says, great seeing you all last week at WERC. It was magical.
We like magic. It's the presence, magic that happens.
Tamara, did you like the magic show? Did you like it? What was your thoughts about it? Some people liked it, some people didn't like it. You know, let me know. What did you think of it? She's saying magical, so I'm guessing she liked it. Let's see here. We got Daisy Sinclair saying, attending WERC representing GLOMO. What's up, Daisy? And being around the best of the best in the industry was electric.
Ooh, I like electric.
I like these. You know what? I like these cool adjectives, right? We use these like kind of basic, like, oh, it was awesome, it was fantastic, which are great adjectives, but like, you know, we're overusing them. But now we're saying electric, we're saying magical, we're saying all these things, and I like the adjectives. Jack Jampel says, hi, Ben. Jana, your Ignite session was amazing. Oh. You are such a natural on stage.
Thank you, Jack. When I realized that I was sharing this experience with not just Jack, but Jack is one of the names that when I saw it, I'm like, oh, I'm not doing it anymore.
Wait. Oh, really? Because you were nervous? Because Jack was going to be there?
I was nervous. I'm like, wow, it's Jack. Like, seriously, I'm sharing this moment with him? I was like intimidated, and I'm feeling so honored with the one for being there and hearing his story. That was, wow, so intense, and really appreciate being there, and seriously, super honored. I feel like that it's historical, and I'm part of good history.
Yeah, people are never going to forget Jack's story.
No.
It was so authentic and so from the heart and so timely too. Jack, thank you again for sharing it. I just respect you so much for opening up and sharing that. I know it wasn't easy. But Jana, I got to ask you, as someone who was on that stage sharing your own story, what was what was that like? What was that like to prepare for?
Was challenging. It's inevitable that I knew that I had to do it. It was really fun. I'm always audience for Ignite session, always. I'm like, oh, I'm there. But was never something that I'm like, oh, one day I will be in that stage doing this session. Never passed my mind that. But this year, when Ben Heller posts, I remember I saw the video and it just talked with me, and I'm like, I have a message. I have something to share. This is the moment that when I was going through the whole process of during burnout, I knew that I will get to the point, but I honestly didn't thought that would be anytime soon. And then when I saw that, I'm like, oh, here it is. I have to do this. And first conversation with Ben, I was like, maybe he would say like, Jana, no. And he was just like, oh no, go personal and all that. And in the beginning, was honestly, I said the first time in front of my computer, and the first time was just easy because it was just right there. I'm like, blah, 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 blah. That's how I felt. Blah, blah. But then, like, narrowing to finish as a presentation was challenging. It was kind of a little, I had so many things, and thanks to you, you support me like, oh, it's good to close to like 3 items, then to narrow. And for me, it's like, okay, just 3, how I do this. So really appreciate your help in that process. And that part was getting to a closure because as someone that I learned so much from the experience and I had so much to say, but it's like, oh my God, I had just 3. So the end was challenging. And one part of me was always like, I need to do this. I'm scared to work on this. And then it's like procrastination and all that. But once I got to the 3 points, then was kind of like exciting. I honestly think my neighbors know my whole thing because I
Your
was just
neighbors
like,
know it.
I will wake up, I will be in front of the mirror doing it. I will, late night, I have this big mirror at home. I was just in front of the mirror, just repeating, repeating, repeating. So wasn't tense. I was really
Because
excited,
that's
tense.
nerve-wracking. Because I mean that we talk about most common fears people have, and the number one fear is public speaking. And you did it, and you did it in your non-native language.
That's one of the
I
voices.
can't even.
That's one of the voices that always comes like, oh, this is not your native language, or you have an accent. Make it clear. I love the fact that I have an accent. No intention of not having it. It's who I am. But oh, will people understand what I want to say? Like, oh, the topic. What is the limit of vulnerability where people will understand that I learn and I came across, or people will, sorry, see me as weak. I didn't want to be seen weak. So, and as women, I think it just so many voices that were like there, and but at the end was just like, oh, I'm glad I did. I'm sure will not be the last one.
Yeah, I hope it isn't. I hope it's one of many. People are commenting about your session here, and let's see what they're saying. Very cool. Panels were so inspiring. The transparency and authenticity was unmatched. Jill saying your Ignite session was incredible. WERC was so special this year. Sessions were amazing. We saw a lot of vulnerability from many of the speakers, and it was super engaging all around. Yeah, it's funny because as we want to do these talks, our first, my first, impulse is to tell people how much I know about a subject, right? Pick something I know about and like try to educate you on it. And people find that boring. Instead, they like gravitate towards personal stories, stories of challenge and triumph and failure and picking yourself up and and that the human experience. I mean, that's why I was loving Reload. That's why it's not like, hey, today's daily Reload webinar is, it's about stories, and people are, and we were all sitting there, Jana, and we were like rooting for you. We were like, yeah, Jana, go, Jana, like,
Oh, yes, I know. Honestly, I turned my phone off 1 hour earlier because people are like crossing and just saying like, oh, I will be there. Oh, you're gonna do great. And I was just start to get really nervous. I was like
Yeah.
crying and I'm like, I don't wanna cry.
Right.
And I went to my room. I cry a lot. I'm like, oh my God, I cannot, now I cannot not do it. But at the same time, I'm like, ugh. And I turned my phone because it was just bubbling, beautiful, and super supportive words, but that was just like making me super nervous. But that was because, as I said, some people, like a lot of people had this nice message they were willing to share, but if nobody shows up, will mean nothing. So they made it special, like having you all there supporting. Like when I went to stage and I saw like people standing, I was like, oh my God.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because
Serious?
you're sitting down in the front row waiting for your chance, and then you go up to the wall to get ready, like on deck circle, and then that's your chance to look back at the audience. Because I didn't see it either, because I'm sitting towards the front, so I don't really know how many people. I mean, that place was packed.
I heard 20, 200.
200 people.
Yeah.
How's that feel to give your talk in front of 200 people? Like to know that you did that.
I don't. Sometimes I'm like, did I do?
Yeah.
It happened. Yeah, was
Yeah.
crazy. Yeah, it feel like a awesome dream.
Very cool. Sharon says, Jana, you are far from weak. People are saying, stating the obvious, but preparing a presentation like that for a non-native speaker is even more challenging. Congratulations, Jana. That's from Christian Ternedden, who knows firsthand. Robin Spindell says, I wish I saw the session. Jana, do you have a recording of it? And it was good to see you last week.
It was great to see you. Yes, I do have the recording. Soon to be on LinkedIn,
Oh, very good. Okay, you're going to post it, huh?
maybe.
Maybe. Well, hey, you said you were going to post it, so now you got to, now you got to do it. Janet says, I love that you practice in front of a mirror. What tips would you give people who are going to speak for the first time?
Know what you. It's important to prep, even if you are comfortable on stage or not. I would say to start to prep in advance, like to give the time to revisit, to change your mind. And I think that I was I study. I did play in school for like 6 years.
Wow.
So I remember a lot during this process, like my teacher saying about movements, about being on the stage and you need to like fill the space and how people will keep paying attention on you, not in anything else that it's around. So the whole mirror thing was one for me to help me to guarantee that I will the movements will help me to know what was next and to see like some things I will do in front of the mirror and I'm like, oh, that didn't look nice, like changing. Because sometimes you think that will look nice and then doesn't.
Right.
I recorded my
Audio or video?
I did video, but what helped me a lot was recording the audio.
Okay.
And I start to listen like as music. I'm really good in learn music. So for me, it was like, I will do this. I know exactly the time. If I learn what is how fast or slow that I need to move as a music, will make it easier. So I was like always listening, like on a Uber going somewhere. Oh, I have here. I will listen myself. So those were
Yeah.
things that I did.
Nice. Yeah, it was great. You did a really nice job, and I love the way you used your movement on stage. And I thought you had a lot of composure and a lot of poise. You really commanded the space, which was great. You didn't shrink from the moment. Some people's kind of body language kind of tends to go like this, or they're looking down, or maybe they have notes or whatever. you were off book, you were memorized, your shoulders were back, you held the room, you took these pauses, you looked at everybody. You could tell like
Thank you.
you were cognizant of that stuff. It was very demure,
Appreciate
mindful.
it.
It was really nice. Marianne says didn't make it to WERC last week, but loved last year's conference at Boston. It was my first WERC last year. Wish the sessions were recorded and available on YouTube because I hear such great things from this year. People for People, love that. Ritu says WERC was fantastic. Thanks, Jana, for the seamless backstage coordination. Also, Ben, kudos on the dancing. The fresh GLOMO kicks and the energy the GLOMO team brings to each event. Yes, People for People is superb. Ritu, thank you so much. Always great to see you. Krista Moore's checking in. Hey, friends, check in the comments here. Want to know what your thoughts are. Jana saying public speaking is kryptonite for me. I love chatting with people, but in public, I freeze. What would you say to somebody like that? I feel like we all have that reaction from time to time. I've had that reaction myself before.
I will not say that everybody has to do or needs to do, but if you feel that you wanna conquer that fear,
Yeah.
I would say to start improv. I would say to start doing little ignites around the people that you trust, that you feel comfortable at home, to understand why you are feeling uncomfortable, insecure. But honestly, I will not say like, oh, everybody should try, because maybe it's, I don't know if it is for everybody. But if you have, I'm afraid, but I really wish, if you have the desire, I think we always need to face our fears and figure out what it's holding us. I will tend to say if there's fears because there's something really great there to come up. So
I like that. If there's a fear, there's something really great there. That's interesting. Yeah, the things that we want to do least are often the right things to lean into and pursue and do those scary things.
and you cannot be good at something. You will not be great at something doing it first.
No.
You can just achieve excellence by repeating, doing it wrong. That's how we learn. So try up.
So I was thinking about this. I think that there's so many good voices out there in our industry. You know, we talk about Love and Relo as the voice of the relocation industry. It's not me. It's the people that join the show. It's the people that sit in your chair right there and talk about their story. It's the people that even get in the comments and share their story. I mean, it is the collective voice, you know, together. It's the crowd. And I think about the folks that do these Ignite sessions, and you know, okay, you got this nice, 5 minutes of tight talk. You got to be real tight. You got to be very economical with your words, as you were saying. But then I also wonder, like, are there opportunities for people to kind of expound on that? Maybe do, a 10-minute or a 15-minute talk. I, having done a TED talk this year myself and conquering a lifelong ambition that I was so nervous to do. Like, literally, the first time when I was asked to do it, my first impulse was no, I'm good. Like,
Oh, really?
I swear, I know, which is so weird. People are like, "Why would you?" No, but my first impulse was to decline, playfully decline, and just be like, "Oh no, I don't really have a talk right now," whatever. But I stopped myself and I was like, "Okay, this is meant to be, right?" And then I leaned into it and I practiced my tail off, like you were saying, and then I delivered it, and it was decent. And I was like, "Okay, I need to do more of this," and then I never did. And my point, though, in saying all that is to say, I feel like giving someone the opportunity to be on the stage, giving them the practice and the prep to actually kind of craft a talk, and then the feeling that you get and the opportunity to touch so many people's lives is such a gift to be able to give. And when I think about, having did like the Love and Relo 500 event that we did last summer, and the fact that so many people got to take the stage and kind of give their talk, right? Whether it was Hosea Botley, who gave a great talk, or Hervoye Cernechki, or Rachel Fisher-Lyons, or Roman did his thing, Adam did his thing, Adam Lowy. So many people gave, so many people gave of themselves in that moment. Christine Reichenberger, shout out to Christine and her daughter Sophia.
Yes.
Thoughts and prayers go out to y'all. But I'm wondering, like, how can we build on this, like, idea of giving people an opportunity to, like, give their ignite like from Ignite to TED, like give their, I want to give people more of a stage to do this.
I love this question
Mm-hmm.
because, and it's driving to how we connected actually.
Mm-hmm.
For a long time, I'm being always uncomfortable to see always the same people on stage.
Mm-hmm.
Not that I don't like what they have to say, opposite, but gets to a point that you kind of know the stories, you know the experience, you already know it.
Yeah.
Wow, there's so many others that can share, that can
Mm-hmm.
add. And I really understand all the whys, but at the same time, I think it starts with the small opportunities like the webinars, the presentations on regionals, the interviews. We should, one, make everyone understand the invite is for everyone. Because I see a lot of people like, oh, I'm not there. I can't do it.
Well,
I'm not.
you're an inclusion expert. I'm going to go so far as to say. So how do we make the opportunities more inclusive to people to share their story?
We need to send the message that it make all understand that it's for them. And if that will come, like, depending on how you are making an announcement, who is making the announcement, where the platforms the announcements are
Why are
made.
those things important? The who's making and the platforms.
Because, okay, let's make the whole simple as easy. If you are just hearing from white male, surrounded by white male, that this is a place for you, I will not look and be like, I, uh, I don't connect. We are not the same.
They're not speaking
I'm
to
not.
me.
They are not speaking with me. If so, we need to engage because it is for all. And when I say for all, it's all, including the white male. But yes, but we need to really be intentional. We need to be intentional in the message. Uh, because when you just say that it is for everyone, but they cannot see it,
Right. See representation.
yeah, they need to see the representation.
Yeah. Okay. So we need to have people who are representative calling on people to participate. What about the platform? You mentioned like it's important to like have to choose your the platform or maybe the way that you communicate this call to action to participate. What's that about?
Okay. Thinking about it, now we have this hybrid environment where people are in the office, others are at home. So am I communicating in hours or platforms that anyone, doesn't matter if this person clocks 8 to 5 or this person has access to be out of the system that this person works during the day to receive the message that I want this person to join me. That's one thing. It's
Interesting.
recorded. This person can see after. I heard some people say, oh, I wish I could see the recording.
That's a huge privilege just to be in the room.
Yes.
To be in the room to see the talk, but also to be in the room to give the talk.
Yeah.
Some people don't even get to be in the room either way.
One thing that I heard Anupam saying during the conference, some people, the information doesn't get to them because it's in the bubble. Oh, for example, he was talking about this when we were talking about the new awards. Now we have a committee, and the whole idea is to spread the word so everybody knows, because the awards, they exist for a long time.
Yeah.
But a lot of people that have been in the industry for a long time didn't even know that they exist, because we were not guaranteeing the best way to send the message.
A perfect example of that, right, is, and I'm going to use WERC as an example, right? But I mean, it happens to all of us, right? If WERC wants to solicit people to speak at the conference, they're going to send an email to their database, which is comprised of their membership, right? Which kind of makes sense, but at the same time, it's like, well, if we want new voices and new members to come in, we have to use a different platform or other platforms as well.
Another example, using the example as we were coming from WRC, I love it. We are recording experience for future invites. I recorded in English and in Portuguese because we have the community in South America and we have Brazil, and when I record the experience from this Latin Summit, and people are like, oh, what is the language? Oh, what are you comfortable? So we record in Spanish, in English, and in Portuguese. So that's one way to guarantee that you were sending the message to everyone. Oh, I can be there. Oh, they're
Yeah.
speaking my language. I can feel more comfortable.
Yeah, I remember when we did the IAM 360 session where we had like this full-blown TV studio at
So
IAM,
cool.
International Association of Movers, which is actually the largest conference in the relocation industry, about 1,800 people from 118 countries, give or take. And we did it there, and you hosted, this was brilliant, you hosted a panel, a segment with, I think it was three ladies from South America,
Yeah,
and you hosted it in Spanish.
in Spanish.
And it was the first Spanish language panel they had ever,
Had.
or I'll even say non-English panel that they had ever done in the history of IM, 60 something years.
Yeah, yeah. We went.
Oh, and all women, yeah.
All women. Yes, and well, that was really awesome. Like
We got to bring that
Colombia,
back.
yeah, Colombia, Brazil, virtually. We were there, and I wanna say that was Peru, not sure, but yeah,
Yeah, so we gotta think about that. And I mean, and that means people like me need to think differently about what our audience wants because, I would never have that idea. I would never have an idea of, hey, let's do a Spanish language Love and Relo episode.
and what you assume, like, oh, okay, no, English is the language that our industry speaks and everybody understands, and let's make everybody else that speak all the other language figure out a way to translate what it's saying. Why not once in a while do the opposite, doing the other language and let the English speakers figure out a way to translate? And
Well,
nowadays we have technology in our favor.
well, yeah, and there's so many voices that you could make it work. Now, I realize if you're at a conference and you're saying, okay, we only have slots for 12 sessions or something like that. Okay, I understand. Maybe you don't want to say, okay, one of them is going to be a Spanish language, but now we have the ability to do so many sessions and so many sub verticals and like all this stuff, and you can push it out through the app, and you can do so many things. And there's really an ability because I mean now the democratization of media now. I mean think about this. I was born in 1982. When I was born, you had like 5 TV channels,
Yes.
right? And if you wanted to be on TV, you had to go to NBC, ABC, CBS. Like maybe there's 4. Maybe Fox wasn't even around. So there was like 4 channels, right? And if you wanted to be on TV, you had to go hope to be one of the few people that got to have their face on television. Now everyone can have a show. I mean, we're obviously evidence of that, right? I mean,
Yes.
you have Brazil talks, Latam talks, you have Love and Reload, you have the Benevo view from the top, you got all the tops and the talks and the loves and the reloads, and everybody has a voice now. So there's really no excuse, I think, now
No.
not to be inclusive of these different
No,
perspectives.
there's no excuse. It's the willingness to do the extra and make it possible because yeah.
I'm getting comments in here. This is funny. Christian says as soon as I open my mouth, I want be careful what you wish for. He says, Ben, if you ever want to play overrated, underrated in German, I'm game. You'll have to teach me how to say overrated and how to say underrated in German, and then I'll be the guest, and you can quiz me. Don't ask me to defend my position. I'm basically just going to give you a thumbs up or a thumbs down. But Christian, I love it. I think somebody out there would want to see that, and somebody would want to play that. We've had German guests on in the past. I love where you're going with this. See, this is the other thing about Love and Relo, right? Like obviously, I host it. It's kind of my voice, my look and feel, whatever. But and then you see like the other things pop up because they want to have other voices, and they don't want to just have a white male perspective, right, of my age demographic. You see Her Story, that series popped up that Peggy Smith kind of dreamed up, and that was awesome. You see Women of Global Mobility with Christina, pop up. You see all these different voices now that pop up, and I think one of the cool legacies that I'd like to think is that I've showed people like, you can do this with very little talent and very little investment, and you can create this. And they're like, well, if Ben can do this, then maybe I can do this, right? And they create that, right? And what Patricia Tavares has done down with Brazil Talks and now Latam Talks, and you're a huge, huge part of that. I mean, I think that's
I'm honored.
awesome,
I'm
So
honored.
I'm saying all that to say, I would encourage you if you're looking out there to say like, hey, I can do this too, and I can create a platform. And Christian, love the German. Oh, and now he says Uber Bewertet and Unterbewertet.
I'm
Okay.
sure you rock the pronunciation.
I'm sure I did not, and you know I didn't. Stop. Jillian says, "Why didn't I know you did that? Doing a session episode in another language is super cool."
It was really awesome, and yeah, we need to do more.
Jack says, "Remember the advice I gave during the Ignite session? You are responsible for finding those opportunities to speak or be on a panel." You know, this is interesting, right? So this is the rub, the debate. Okay, you know, is whose responsibility is it to is someone's responsibility to create opportunities, or is it someone's responsibility to go find opportunities? Thoughts? Because I see
Depends.
you do both.
Depends. Yeah. Now, depends where you are. I think there's a point where like you want to be in places and you need to do whatever. If you really want to do things, create the opportunities, connect with the people that will open the doors, connect with the people that are doing what you want to do to understand how they got there. And yeah, be in the right place, connect with people, connect genuinely, because I think that's the key part, because your differentiator, it's your magical power, and it's the thing that it's yours. And for a long time I was just trying to fit, to be like, to do what others were doing, because I couldn't really recognize my differentiator. And when I realized, like, okay, no, it's be who I am, the way that I am, that I will conquer those spaces. I don't need to copy anyone. So be genuine. I think it's like that will take you to places. And honestly, that it's like personal value. Once you went to the next step, it's your responsibility to extend your hand for the others to come. So for me, it makes no sense to achieve any different stage if I'm not helping and making for the next ones the process easier. So yeah, I think it's your responsibility to achieve, and it's your responsibility to make it easier for the ones that come after.
It's a great perspective. Sandra saying, "Preach, Jana." Marianne saying, "It's both." Yeah, yeah, for sure. Christian's noting another achievement is that those are the first German words I've spoken on Love and Relo. Well, thank you. I'm glad you consider them words.
History.
Yeah, history in the making right now. It's fantastic. You know, we talk about inclusion a lot. I know how deeply important inclusion is to you, and I was curious, why is that?
It's who I am. Like, yeah, I was born in a multicultural family. I was born with a grandmother that was speaking with me in one language, and I would answer in a different one. I was the only dark in my school. So the lack of inclusion was always, of course, took me time to give the right name for it. But once I understood, was it just connects with who I am. I had a lot of privilege to conquer in an easier way than the majority to be where I am now. But once I understood that there's this thing that I can create for all, make it possible for all to dream and to achieve whatever they want. I, 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 I cannot not be part. I cannot don't do anything. It's literally who I am. Helping others, see someone, like, yeah, making it easier for others. Doesn't matter what is the scenario. If it's a woman, a person of color, if it's a different nationality, whatever it is. For me, it's like it's a responsibility. I'm here to donate the gifts that I have or that I achieve somehow for others. It's who I am. It's really hard for me to say in a simple sentence because it goes in so many directions.
Do you think that the challenges that you kind of went through, maybe fitting in, you know, whether it be in school or in your own family even, as a younger person, like kind of made you gravitate towards that field of study in order to kind of maybe better understand your own kind of your own experience and kind of make sense of some of these of like where these challenges and headwinds kind of come from in the world?
I know the feeling, not all, absolutely not all, but I know some of the feelings that comes, and I know that for me, being in underprivileged moments and scenarios, that kind of like was a challenge for me to prove that I could do it. But I know that that can be a situation that will just stuck, will make people believe that they cannot do, that they cannot achieve. And I want to be the person that will encourage others, not make them believe that they cannot, or if there is such a thing, or a place that they cannot be part of it. Uh, yeah, yeah, knowing how can be painful, how can hold you, how can stuck you, and some people they do not have the support around, they do not have the privilege to see in a different from a different perspective, and it scares me. It doesn't matter if it is like internship that the person hears like a bad thing and that stuck and make the person believe that they cannot achieve their dreams, or for a woman that does a girl that never heard that she could dream or be a professional, like it goes in every direction. And I had felt, and I don't know if it's lucky or whatever, my personality always made me want to prove that I want to do it, and not just making it all romantic. Of course, comes with a cost, but yeah, I if I can avoid others to feel the pain, that's what I want to do.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that resonates with me so much. I think about my own experiences as a kid. Coming from Texas, moving to New York, and being like absolutely enamored with hip hop culture, and but also not like, but feeling very like rejected by like my classmates, and like being from the South and having an accent, and then also, being a white person that was really into hip hop culture, and so and I have a lot of friends who were black or were Jewish. Actually, I had a lot of Jewish friends as well, but I wasn't really a fit in those cultures naturally, right? And so I went through a lot of friction in my childhood, and so when I got to college and I could choose to study whatever I wanted to study, I chose English because I really enjoyed literature and reading and writing and persuasive writing and things like that. But I also chose Africana Studies because I wanted to better understand you know racism, frankly, and like the factors at play here, and like this weird visible yet invisible thing that is racism, right? And the institutionality of it and everything. And so anyway, I was just kind of curious about
Yeah,
because you're so passionate about it and you have
I am.
advanced degrees in it and everything. I mean, you studied this at high levels.
Yeah, yeah, I would say that, yeah, it is visible. And I would say you mentioned like fitting, right? And I think it is, we need to work towards not trying to figure out ways to make people fit. We need to make them welcome as they are. Because when we talk about fit, it's like, okay, I'm not fit enough. I need to do something to be part of this. No, environments should like let people have the feeling of belonging. Like I am who I am, the way that I am, and I can be part of this, and I will be respected, and I will have the same opportunities as others. Um, and yeah, to the point of studying, it was really funny, right? And this comes with the whole thing of not being inclusive. I'm just finishing this next month. I will finish my certification with Cambridge. That I'm so proud of it.
Cambridge, that's a big name.
In diversity and inclusion in the work environment, and it's so funny because I always knew that I want to do it, and honestly, I don't even have the answer why I delay it so much. And it's been such an amazing experience. Like it's been so, it's that thing that I do, and it's like there's nothing else that I should be doing because it fulfills me. I'm so creative. I have so many assessments to write, 500 words here, 500 words there. Not to mention that it's in British English,
British
what is
English.
another both in my
Yeah.
mind. But it just goes so easy. Like I had the awful experience. I have proud as well, but I have a master in economics, and that was so painful. And the reason why I choose to do that was because I want to achieve sea level, and knowing as a woman that our achievements, they're always being double questioned, like, oh, she achieved this because she has a good smile or she knows someone. Our capabilities, they never come as the first reasons of our achievements. So I was like, I'm gonna do this master in economics because I don't want anybody questioning why and how I got to places. I have great grades, but I will tell you, was painful because I'm a people person, and was so hard, and I was feeling always stuck. I was crying. I was losing nights of sleep. And now comparing, one part of me when I start the whole inclusion certification, I was like, why I'm putting myself into this? I always ask that always when I start to study something else, and I never stop. But and then I'm like, wow, this is completely different. It is a lot. It is a lot. I have a lot, yeah, but it just connects with who I am, connecting with people from so many different countries, understand understanding their challenges. I wake up like at 6:30. That's when my classes started in the morning, and I wake up like revigorated. I finish writing assessments really late at night. I'm fired up because like my mind just bubbles, and it's putting light into, yeah, I'm sure there are great things that will come from now on after this, because it feels that I'm just putting gas in something that it's really good, that gives me a lot of ideas and possibilities of doing better things to our industry.
Yeah, well, I look forward to seeing what comes from it. Jorge says this is the great part of multiculturalism: learning new things and developing an empathetic posture everywhere, opening your mind and understanding the quote differences, end quote, make us grow as a person. Christian loves the way you phrased "it's who I am," is beautifully said, Jana. People are digging this. Daisy said opportunities are always there. We have to take the step and go get them. Yep. This is a lot of fun, Jana. We could talk about this for a long time. Sandra says the look on Ben's face as he listens to Jana are those. Yes, this is.
What is the
I think it's like the rosy cheek, proud maybe face is probably what I'm reading there. Sorry, my eyes are not what they used to be. Anyway, hit that like button. Get in the comments here. You want to let's do a little overrated, underrated, or should I say, this is a segment we like to call Überbewertet and Unterbewertet.
Come with me.
Oh my gosh, I still don't know give me a
And you don't
percentage
have-
grade on that. How
and
did I
you
say it
have-
percentage-wise?
And you have no idea if you're reading what he said.
No clue.
That's awesome.
I know the word Uber.
Oh, me too. I'm taking one
Yes.
later today.
Uber. Oh my gosh. Okay, we're gonna play the Uber good or Uber bad game here in a second. Overrated, underrated. Do you know how to play the game?
I do. With you?
Yes, my rules are weird. They are my own. This is such a great interview. Thank you both. Marianne saying, yes, we'll stick around. It's about to get wild. The second word's been said in German. Yes, thank you, Christian. It still counts. All right, we've got a couple extras today. Let's see. All right, overrated or underrated? Number one, the Washington Commanders.
Bam. Underrated.
Underrated. Why is that, Jana?
Okay, as traveling, the last one that I watch or visit, it's always the best. So I just watch the game. They're the best now at the moment. So they're underrated. Nobody knows. Like I know the whole story. I don't know. I heard about the story. 15 years. Blah 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 blah. They rock the whole Holy Mary. Hail Mary. What? Hail Mary.
Hail Mary. Hail Mary. The Hail
thing.
Mary.
They're so much Commanders. Woohoo!
You went to a Commanders game last weekend. It should be said, and it was the most unreal finish. They say it was the play of the year So far this year, it's been the play of the year.
That's where I've been hearing, and I heard that Commanders were not being doing good for
The
like
Commanders have been awful for a long
a
time.
long time. So
In
was
fact, they were
there,
very racist for a long time.
was there.
And now they're not racist, and they're really good, and they have new ownership. It's not sexist either. So we're really rooting for them. What a turnaround. Yeah, no, the Commanders are really good. Honestly, as a lifelong Dallas Cowboys fan, I find myself even rooting for them occasionally. Don't tell anybody.
But of course, until the next game, invite me to another game. I will be cheering for them.
We just got to get her some Dallas. Can we get a GoFundMe together for some Dallas Cowboys tickets? Because, yeah, no, the Commanders are underrated. Hit that like button. 1 point for Jana. All right, let's go. Next one up. Accessibility, overrated or underrated?
Underrated. We tend, when we talk about accessibility, we just think about the things that we can see.
Okay.
And the majority of
Like
the
wheelchair
needs,
ramps or
yes.
something? Okay.
And the majority of the people that need accessibility, they're not because of things that we can see in our eyes. So people would
Okay.
just assume we don't need it to think about accessibility in the office. We don't need to think about accessibility during this event because we don't have that audience.
Like, give me an example. Like, what type of a thing should I be thinking about as a CEO, accessibility-wise?
Access to the office, like a person with a wheelchair would be able to get access to the whole office. The website, it's just in English. You?
Maybe like, one of the things I heard one time, and shout out to Peggy Smith for sharing this with me, but she said, I think we presented something to her, and she was like, this doesn't work for me. I'm colorblind, and I can't see half this graph right now. And I'm like, okay, did not even think of that, did I? Mary Corrales, shout out to her. She did a Ignite on neurodivergence.
That was
and I think
so awesome.
it was dyslexia or something of that nature, right? And and so she's an amazing salesperson in this industry.
Understand that people learn in different ways, and ask. I always say people like, oh, but I don't know what to do. I feel like uncomfortable. Ask what is the best way for me to support your learning process? How is the best way for me to communicate? How you learn better? You take notes, you listen, you need to learn. People will give you the direction on how to make it easier for them.
Is there a question? I know this is supposed to be like a speed round thing. I'm very bad at this. Is there a question I should be asking like early on in the engagement to suss out like if they need any kind of accommodations? Like how should I even uncover that? Or is it up to them to bring that forward?
You can ask. It's not mandatory for them to answer at first because not necessarily they will feel safe at the first moment because it comes bias. They will feel afraid. Like if I say that I need anything special, I will lose opportunities. So it is a process, like to guarantee that anywhere that they search, for example, we're using GLOMO as example, they will see that we are inclusive. And then they will see in the website, in the examples, in the actions. And then, of course, in an interview process, when you reinforce that, they will have already other things that can make it easier. They will already have the trust of being like, oh, he's asking because I already saw that they do this, they do that, they have this action, their website is this. Maybe I should trust and I can say that that I need something else. But we need to be willing to understand that that information can come later.
Okay, cool. All right, got to give you a point for that one. All right, 2 points for Jana. Next one up, sponsorship.
Underrated.
Is this like platinum sponsor, diamond sponsor?
No, I knew we were going to ask about this. I think people confuse a lot sponsorship with mentorship. And people, and then talking about inclusion, right? It's underrating the opportunity of have someone that you sponsor, and being someone that you sponsor is like you will be there by their side, like supporting their learning process, talking good about them in the rooms that opportunities will come up. We'll give feedback in and on, we'll voucher for them, and creating this continued process of them achieving places.
Yeah, that's That's a really good one because I mean, so much happens, you know, through who you know and who knows you, right? And you mentioned speaking good of someone in a room full of opportunity. I mean, that's a blessing right there. So how do you find a sponsor?
There's the how you find them or how sponsors put themselves there, right? I hear about companies that they create those sponsorship programs internally. What can kind of end up can be a great thing, but depending of how it's managed, can end up being a challenge because then if they do not connect, if the sponsor and the person that is being sponsored, they need to connect. They need to have like some glue in there. But yeah, I think it's a ongoing thing. Companies create programs. I think that's something like associations should consider, like create programs for sponsorships to be out of the just inside of companies.
Yeah. Yeah, cool. I like this one. All right, sounds good. 3 points for Jana. Next one up. Do you have a potential to set a new high score in this game? Global goals on inclusion.
Overrated.
Ooh, I love overrated. It's so yeah, controversial.
It is, exactly. That's the word. It's controversial. Global goals and inclusion. Because when you're talking about inclusion, you need to go smaller to achieve maybe a bigger goal. But you cannot have like a one goal global for different regions, different countries, different realities to promote inclusion because different needs, different scenarios. So it's not realistic to have a global goal to promote inclusion.
So you're saying the problem maybe is that is the problem that the measurements are different in different places, therefore you can't have a global standard or global goal? Or?
The challenges are different. For example, people talk about a lot about bringing women to the workforce, but you can get to specific regions that for the other day I was reading this article about this. This company, they made this big effort on bringing women to the workforce and they have it all. And then the company came with this global goal of bringing women to the workforce. In that specific region, they were actually in need of men because they just have women. So they had to adjust because that region could not have the same goal as the other regions because their reality was different.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
Same.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Okay, all right, you know what? Overrated it is. All right, that's 4 points. Jana, you're on a roll here. Next one up. Overrated, underrated. Gender diversity in the workplace.
Underrated. And I think there is some misunderstanding of what that means in the work environment. Because when people talk about gender diversity, automatically, to the prior example, people will think, let's bring women and LGBT plus to the work environment. But we need to have both because study shows that
That's that Cambridge coming out.
like when you, and honestly, like you will keep laughing because this week I was just seeing things and I'm like, that's exactly what it is. When we have like an environment just with women that tends, of course, we are talking about tendency. That's not like always how it happens. But we tend to have an environment where people will agree really easy. Women tend to agree together.
Yes.
They get to a point really fast, really easy, they agree. Men, they tend to compete all the time. So if you have just men, you will have like all this competition. One try to prove their point, one try to prove that they are their best idea. Women, they will do not debate because they will just easily agree. Oh, I got your point. I have another idea here, but I agree with you. So having it all, it brings like the balance of the challenge of different ideas, the not agreeing. So bringing the gender diversity real, not just like, okay, let's pack of women or vice versa or whatever. You need to have it all to bring the different, because again, the debate is good, it's productive.
Yeah.
I think we are a good example of it.
Yeah, I do, and I see the dynamics that you're saying tend to happen. I totally see that. But then how do we prevent the men from competing and the women from agreeing? Because you don't want to have that.
No, you
set
are
in.
not. You are not making it happen. But when it's just women, they will tend and like they will not have challenge conversations. They will not challenge themselves on doing things different. Men, they will not go anywhere because they will just be fighting. So when you bring the balance, then of course one will you'll be still being who you are, but then like the creating the environment where we will respect and we'll get to a point of like having the men debating will make women like, oh, I actually had something to say.
Okay, so once they see an all-out fight break out, they might hop in. So I got two questions for you. How do we get groups of women? Let's just say there's just a group of women. This is less gender diversity. How do we get women to have healthy debates when the tendency is to maybe go along?
You need to start smaller, right? We need to create the safe environment. You will not put like in a big crowd, like, okay, let's do it. No. But in the small debates, like in the 101, like, okay, you're agreeing with me. Are you agreeing with me? Like, let's say me and you, 101. Too much agreeing, too much yes. Are you seriously agreeing with me? I don't know. It's really good to receive just always yeses. But like challenge, like, are you serious? Like kind of play the devil, like the thing that we were talking yesterday, like going and mixed up the question on bringing a negative to try to get the positive and vice versa. I think it starts small. It's all about making this other group feeling secure, because all when we talk about not being inclusive, they come with this background of not being safe, of receiving negative feedback if they already tried before. So it needs to be safe. They need to know they will be respected, that the movement will be respected, and they will be able to be who they are and bring their opinions.
I love it. This is really interesting. I'm learning. I work with you, and I'm learning a lot right now. I think is that 5 points right now?
I just
5
know that
points?
I'm rocking.
I just know that I'm rocking. Yeah, I don't keep score. I know I'm killing it. I'm undefeated. How many wins? I don't know. All right, let's say that's 5 points. Do we have another one? Ivy League colleges, overrated or underrated? Now hold on. I know for a fact, not only are you getting a certificate from Cambridge, which is basically Ivy League. Well, it's not really, but it is basically. But I also happen to know that you love Harvey Specter.
I do.
And love all those Harvard-educated people from Specter, Lit, Pearson, whatever. So be careful, because Harvey might be watching here.
Oh my God. Look at you exposing me. It's overrated.
Aha, Harvey. Sorry, Mike didn't go to
feel like
Harvard. Whack, overrated.
No, but it's all in the perspective of inclusion. It's there's this saying, right? Are the Ivy Leagues a place where everybody learns to be incredibly amazing, or people with money have access to Ivy Leagues and they can just create this perception of like, we are great because we have the money, and then people will keep respecting us and we are great? Absolutely, there are amazing people in Ivy Leagues, and no questioning about that. But assuming that you can only find amazing talent from those places, it's a really wrong assumption. There are incredible people that do not have access to that level of education, and they will wrestle and they will work their asses to study and to be the best. And honestly, I would hire those.
All right. Let's see here. People are checking in here. Marianne saying, OMG, I love Harvey Specter too. And I love Mike Ross too, his chutzpah. Vinny, amiga, está super ocupado en no consigue asistir. Beijos.
You see? One show, 3 languages already.
You know,
and you rock your Portuguese.
I was just pretending to not know
Oi,
anything.
Vini. Que bom que você conseguiu chegar em tempo.
Oh, he followed it up with more. Oh gosh, Vinny, you're killing me.
he is busy, but he managed to do it. And yeah, he said the same thing.
Love you, Vinny. Big hugs, buddy. Hope those kids. Hey, I want to know what Mateo's favorite item from WERC. What was your son and daughter's favorite item from WERC? I want to know.
Great
Give
point.
somebody a shout out.
Love
Because
it.
Vinny always does the big reveal where he puts everything
I
out.
love
and
it.
It looks
I
like
love
he's
it.
like selling something in the streets. He's got it all laid out like a bazaar out there. Now, Vinny, let us know. So now, if this one is correct, which you are correct, because I did not go to Ivy League either. If I went to like Harvard, I'd be like, "What are you talking about?" Also, wouldn't be doing this. That you have 6 points. You have 6 points right now. I don't know that we've ever had a 6-point guest.
Sorry, not sorry.
My question though is there another overrated, underrated?
There is? I don't know. I don't think so. I don't remember. I
So
don't think so.
6, that's it?
I think that was it.
Okay. A record that will never be broken. 6 points.
Oh,
Ah!
that's new. That was-
Acai! Bonus round. Acai, overrated, underrated. First, you must know, tell us before you answer this question, the cultural significance of acai in Brazil.
Wow, I will lose my.
They're going to
Birth
revoke your passport.
certification.
You're not even going to be able to go back.
Oh my God. Well, I think it's underrated. Considering the real acai that a few people have access, even in Brazil, because the real
Privilege,
acai,
too.
let me
Acai
tell
privilege.
you, it's not sweet. You see, you never try real
Ooh.
acai. That's what I'm saying.
Real
Real
acai.
acai is underrated because people, they eat that thing with a lot of sweets and super sweet actually, and they think that that's genuine acai, and it's not. Acai goes like in salty food.
What the heck is it then? What is
a
it
fruit.
made out of?
It's a fruit. It's that the
It's a
little
Like a berry?
berry. Yeah, I would
Okay,
say.
so now it's not sweet?
No.
What does it taste like?
People say that tastes like, that sounds funny, like dirt.
Dirt. Tastes like dirt. Well, in fairness, we eat a lot of cranberries in this country, and cranberries are terrible.
I
without
like
a,
it.
Well, because you never tasted real cranberries.
You got it.
They're tart. They're very tart.
Maybe we
It's
are
too
together
tart.
there.
Maybe cranberries are the acai of the U.S. Or acai is the cranberry of Brazil.
Super.
Pa checking in. What's up, Pa?
Hey, Pa!
Love Pa.
Oh, who doesn't?
Vinny says it is only made from the skin of the acai fruit. He says acai is amazing, not the way Americans eat. The real one is incredible. And finally, I get to answer my question. Vinny says, Mateo, sunglasses, Kaylee, tiara. You did wear that tiara. Did you jack that from the Rocket Mortgage Party, Vinny? Out with it. I want to know. And if so, I'm not mad at you. I'm mad at Rocket, okay?
They didn't
Because
like
I
it.
tried to steal something from the Rocket Mortgage Party in Boston, maybe.
You need to stop this.
No, I won't stop, can't stop, won't stop. I tried to steal, I should stop. I won't stop. I tried to steal an astronaut helmet from the Rocket Party, and this lady chased me down onto the bus and told me and shamed me and told me I was a bad person for stealing this helmet. I might have been a bad person, okay? But for $14.99 on Amazon, yes, I looked it up, okay? And they underwriting my mortgage and gonna make $700,000 on my mortgage over the 30 years if they don't sell it off and I keep the house. I feel like I deserve an astronaut helmet.
Oh my God, I remember that day. It was hilarious.
Hilarious. Sometimes I steal stuff, okay? Whatever. Vinny says I was given by another corporate friend as I was walking into the event. I did not steal anything.
That's the way of doing Vinny Valverde.
I love you, Vinny. Even though you should have stole it. I love you, Vinny. This is too much fun. You officially, acai is underrated, I guess. You officially have 7 points, Jana. No one.
7, it's a really great number.
A record that will never be broken, much like Pete Rose's hit record. A record that will absolutely never be broken. Jana, the reigning queen of Überbewertet and Unterbewertet. How does it feel?
I'm happy.
Good.
I'm happy. Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you for all the engagement. It really makes me really emotional, excited. As I joke when I post about this, it's like it sounds that it's about me, but I think it's about us. And I really love those interactions. It really reaffirms that how much I love this industry and how much I really want to support the growth, the engagement, the inclusivity. Yeah, it just reinforces all the great things.
Yeah, yeah, you do. You do a great job of it.
Thank you.
Hey, thanks everybody for being here. Hit that like button one more time. Give Jana a virtual applause and hit that little heart button and all that good stuff over there. Jana, we loved having you here in the studio. Love having you here in person in Dallas. I hope you have a phenomenal Halloween. This actually kind of looks like it could be just legit like your outfit. You could like legit wear this. Like it looks just like a fashion statement. And and people are loving your red glasses too. I should have told you that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It fits my outfit.
Looking fabulous.
Thank you.
Thanks everybody. Thanks for being here. We will see you next week. Next week there is a little election going on Tuesday, and we're gonna have a live, not live. Yeah, we're gonna have live. We're gonna have election episode special event Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, right after the election. Wednesday we are talking about. Well, Jana's helping me orchestrate this. Jana, what are we talking about Wednesday?
Mortgage and
Real estate and moving, I think, right?
Sorry, real estate and
Like
moving.
that real domestic relo stuff.
Thursday we are doing immigration.
Yes.
And Friday we are doing reload policies and tax.
And taxes, yes. So that's gonna be really wild stuff to see.
I'm so excited.
Yeah, it's like gonna be like real reporting, but still don't fact check us because it's not. It's just entertainment.
We don't know.
But yeah, it'll be good. Anyway, take care, y'all. Love y'all. Take care.